Welcome, everyone, to Mountain Man Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, coming to you live from the chilly mountains of Western North Carolina and bringing you live stream episode number 103. Today is January the 31st, 2022. I hope everyone has had a great start to your week. Want to welcome everyone that is able to join me here a little bit later on this Monday evening live. Anybody who might be in the background listening, hello to you, and anybody on delay. This live stream and all are available on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel under the live streams playlist. Once again, welcome. Hope everyone's having a great start to your week. We discuss here on each week things that are interesting from the mountains here in the Western North Carolina area and extending over to East Tennessee and greater and beyond, and all things fun and interesting. So join in the conversation if you feel like it, and we would like to see how you are doing. I got a couple of people who have joined us already this evening. Hope Faith is here. How are you doing today? I am doing well. How are you doing, Hope? Mr. Carlos, welcome to the live stream. Are we on mountain time? Two things. Yes, we are on mountain time because it's my time. I mean, I don't say my time like my time, like because I'm late. And yes, it would be better if it was mountain time right now. It'd be about 7 p.m. right now. So yeah, we're kind of on Mr. Mountain Man time, but thank you all for being patient. Life is full, kids, family, work, activities, house, everything, just lots going on. It takes a while for the dust to settle before I can do something like this. Glad to have everybody here. From out of the frozen tundra rises a hot Monday live stream, Mr. Mountain Man. Yeah, better hot mountain live stream than a hot pile of something else, I guess. I'm glad to have you here, Foxy. We'll see if we can get the thumbnail going. Foxy, Southern Georgia. Once in a while I'll keep an eye on. I mean, this last cold front dipped pretty good. So I imagine you probably got some cool air down your way because I know Florida was even chilly. We used to get a few folks from Florida on here, and I don't know if they're enjoying this time of the year right now. Yes, it is good to have you back here. It is. We are on Eastern time. I think it was a little jab at me and a good one at that about how late that I'm on. Hey, Dr. J is here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man family. Great seeing you all today. You as well. I was happy on Friday to be able to, at least in the background, listen in on the memorial that you had streaming on your channel. I know there were other folks. I think Rita was able to show up, and just a great thing that you were able to do. And there is other content on our show, Our Story, related to that, the slideshow and some of the other things. So I was really pleased to be able to see that. I know you had a couple family members that weren't able to make it because of the inclement weather, which was, unfortunately, it's winter time. So that was probably a little bit difficult, but I think you stitched it together well with technology. So very, very glad that you were able to share that with your friends and family, and glad to have you here. Let us know how you're doing. Rita's here. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing well. Looking forward to another Mountain Man Monday. Yes. And did you say on Instagram that you were having fried chicken today? Am I correct? Or was that yesterday you were going to have it? Because I know I made chicken on the grill and you said something about having chicken. I thought you did. So let me know if that's true. Kentucky girl, hello to you. Hope you are doing well. I see the little icon waving there. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Mom is here. How are you doing, Mom? I love you. And Dad, I hope you guys are doing well and staying thawed out up in the old Buckeye State. And hope you are doing great. Coming in loud and clear tonight. Thank you for the radio check. I appreciate it. Used to have a CB radio back in the day. I think I've mentioned that before. You guys ever use one of those? You have to know the lingo, right? I don't even think in the trucking community they're used as often as they used to be. Break 109 for a radio check. Come on, you can get a radio check. I used to really enjoy having a CB in the car. Jean Marita is here. Good evening, everyone. to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Let us know. It got cold this weekend, but it's back to 70 today in Georgia. By cold, you probably dipped down into the 30s, right? I would assume so. And so, hopefully, it sounds like you're thawing out and you're in like spring-like weather. Hope Fake, check out our Show Our Stories YouTube channel to see that content, and actually post the link if you want to, Dr. J, of the live stream from Friday. I think it's still out there. But no, feel free to drop some links in there and stuff to inform the community. It did dip into the 20s. Yeah, so we had our coldest nights in the last few years. It got down here in Western North Carolina to we were somewhere between 10 and 15 degrees at night. It was pretty cold. And so I enjoyed it. The only thing that I'm a little, so you all know from my other channel, I got the newer Shelby Mustang. I say newer because it's still 12, 13 years old, but newer than my 01 Cobra. Anyway, I don't want to drive it in the salt. It's like having a new pair of shoes and getting them scuffed, but I really don't want to drive that my new car in the salt for obvious reasons. And so it's been tough this year because they've laid down a lot of salt because we've had a mix of snow, heavy snow, ice, freezing rain, and they just continually put the salt down. So unfortunately, I've been having to avoid driving my car, and hasn't been so fun because, like a kid on Christmas, having that newer car, I want to drive it. But, I basically brought it at the almost essentially the beginning of, middle of fall, beginning of winter. And so that's been impeding it a little bit. Had fried chicken, green beans, slaw, mac and cheese tonight. Eat your heart out, right? That is, we have I'm sure it wasn't near that good, but we have a grocery here in Western North Carolina called Ingalls. Some of you might be familiar with it. And they have a cafe, and they have like 3 different types of food. They have like home cooking or home style cooking. They have like Asian, and then they have like subs. The subs are made with boar's head meat. I think people talk about Publix subs and when we used to live in Florida, but I'm telling you, Ingalls subs are like, they're the same price as Subway and some of the chain. You won't find a better sub than the grocery. First of all, they have a leg up advantage because they have the entire store at their fingertips. So everything is super fresh. The subs are bigger, they're cheaper. On a taste scale, I would put an Ingalls, if I had to keep it relative, I'd put Ingalls at a 10 and Subway at a 3.5. So Ingalls has great subs, but they also have that home cooking stuff, and they have fried chicken, green beans. They don't always have cold slaw because most of the food is hot food. They do have mac and cheese, and they have a lot of other stuff. And you can get like their meal for $6 and add a drink for $1. The grocery really actually has great food. Most of the Ingalls here in Western North Carolina have that cafe, and it's good to eat at, and it's reasonably priced too. I'm just catching up here, figuring out which comment. That is yum. It's a double yum. So far, we get 15 inches of snow and ice. Pray we don't lose power Thursday at night in Indiana. Yeah. I was about to sneeze. Pardon me. Woo. Pause the live stream. Okay. 15 inches of snow and ice. That is a lot. And especially if you get that ice on top of that snow or it's layered in there, yuck. I took myself out of, when I did that hard sneeze, I took myself out of focus there. Yeah, I hope, we have a few folks from up that way. I grew up in the Midwest next door in Ohio. So once winter decided to show up on like January 3rd this year, it's been here. And, hey, that's great. And just like I said, a little impatient not getting to drive the car. Yes, you do need to go to Ingalls. If you come across the border and you see Ingalls, like I said, most of them have that cafe, and it's a really good price. So, like, especially if you go with, other people, family, kids, whatever, somebody, you can kind of get something different. And then they always have a seating area, which is pretty clean. When I say pretty clean, I mean, like I was, I mean, it's really clean. I've not really been there when it was dirty. They keep up after it, but they also have one of those Coke machines like they have at Burger King where you can get like all the different flavors. And so, you can get, several people to the whole family eating for 20 or 30-ish dollars. And then if you go after 6 p.m., here's an insider tip. If you like donuts after 6 p.m., they're 3 for 99 cents. So you can get your sub or your home cooking or your, sweet and sour chicken or whatever, and then go over and get some donuts for cheap. It's really good stuff. Happy Mountain Man Monday. All great to see you. Good to see you, Larry. I think last week we caught you on the tail end. Glad to have you here. You made a trip back to Ohio, I think, right? And I think you were mentioning that. So hopefully that's gone well, because obviously winter, as we've mentioned, is showing its gnarly teeth at this point. Speaking of Monday, man, I'm telling you what, today is a traditional Monday. Like, kind of sleepy, family's kind of cranky. It was beautiful day. Actually, it was very pretty day outside. So nothing to really complain about, but man, today was just kind of one of those Mondays. Just, I don't know what it was. Didn't have an overly exhausting weekend or anything. It seems like these days for us, like the weekends, if it's a traditional 2-day weekend, and not like an extra day off or a holiday or something, there's not a lot of time to do anything significant or get anything significant done without a tremendous amount of planning. There's always a bunch of using, eclectic activities with the kids and the family, running errands. We need this food. We need, I got to get something at Lowe's for the house, or this for the car, or blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of random stuff. And before you know it, Sunday night is there and it's time, to start the week again. So just a little tired, a little slow going to start the week this week. How about you all? Did you guys start with a spring in your step today, or are you a little bit slow to get the week started as well? Hope lost her mama 2 years ago tomorrow. Sorry for your loss. And I know those are tough anniversaries, but hopefully you have some good memories and might be able to think about that as well. Rita says, I've been to Ingles once when I was in North Carolina. It's a nice store. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good grocery store. I liken it to Food City over there in Tennessee. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but when I go over to Tennessee, Food City is kind of like the local East Tennessee market. And then over here in Western North Carolina, which Ingles is based out of Black Mountain, which is on the east side of Asheville. And so it's kind of local, but they've spread out. Like there's actually some Ingles over the border off I-26 in South Carolina. So they've extended their footprint a little bit. Just in time for the snowstorm back there. Yes. Greene County, Tennessee was pretty. Yeah. I mean, we warmed up a bit here in the mountains. It was 51 when, later when we look at the weather, it's going to be kind of a typical Western North Carolina, Mountain North Carolina winter this week. See, for those of you that aren't from here, we are higher elevation and we are the mountains, but we're not exactly geographically, to the extreme north. So our winters are a mixed bag. We do get the occasional strong winter storm because of the higher elevation. We'll get snow. Lower elevation, maybe like Greenville, Charlotte, Knoxville, they get rain. So we do get that, and that's the advantage. If you like that type of stuff, you'll get that here. But relatively, we have moderate winters. And so average, temperature around here is usually a high about 50 and low about 28. That's like, I don't know if that's exactly it, but that's a very run of the mill. And it could be just super blue skies, Carolina blue skies. And, just that's, day after day like that until like March when it starts warming up a little bit. Works for you. I'll take one of your cars and keep it here and spare in the garage. And we haven't had the road salt issues you have. Well, yeah, I bet you would like that. But what's up with the road salt? They don't put down the salt in Ohio, or are they just plowing, or it's not been snowing much? I mean, I know they still use salt in Ohio. I just around here, get really treacherous. Like last Friday, we got a little bit of snow in the evening, and I had wanted to go out to eat, and I started driving, and the minivan we have started sliding a little bit, and I was like, yeah, the heck with that. Turned around and went home. Yeah, it wasn't too fun. We have Ingles here, never go. We usually hit Food City, right? Yes. Very comparable. Greetings, Mr. Mountain Man, and everyone in the chat, to you as well. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Let us know how you are doing. I'm in the cold. 75 when I board the plane, -4 when I got off. Wow, that's quite the difference there. Were people wearing shorts and stuff like? Well, I'm sure you made a connection, so it wasn't direct to. Well, maybe if you went to Cleveland or something like that, maybe it was. But speaking of Ohio, the Cincinnati Bengals made the Super Bowl. I don't really care. People say, oh, that's the AFC North, root for them, or they're from Ohio. I don't care. That's the enemy. I kind of stopped watching football when the Steelers lost. I did tune in and listen on the radio when I was driving home from the gym yesterday, and I heard the Bengals beat the Chiefs. I only checked the score on the Rams-Niners game. And so I don't know. I know there are some people that are Cincinnati Bengal fans and, are very happy. I guess everybody feels that other fans are annoying, but I've always found the Bengals fans a little ornery. I mean, they haven't won anything in like 30 some years, and they act like they're just won 6 Super Bowls and they're about to win their 7th or something. So, whatever. Obviously I'm a little salty about that, but good luck to them. Here's an insider tip, and a serious one. I mentioned this on the channel a couple years ago because it was right before the pandemic. One of the greatest days to go to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody, in my opinion, kind of robotically watches the Super Bowl like, oh, I have to. Most people don't give a hoot about football, and I'm a big football fan. I get it, though. There's some fun get-togethers and stuff like that, but just to do it because everybody else does it, the heck with it. When everybody looks left, look right. We went to Gatlinburg on Super Bowl Sunday, and it was a VIP treatment. There was nobody anywhere, but this was pre-pandemic, so everything was open. We got to do everything. We went out to eat, got straight into the restaurant. It was a beautiful, gorgeous day. Parking was easy. It was a real treat. So if you want to do something fun, think about Super Bowl Sunday. If you're kind of half into it and you're only doing it because some other people are, the commercials, now with YouTube and Instagram and social media, 2 decades ago, I think all the commercials were like a big hit, but now everybody's desensitized because we're constantly entertained with a high value of entertainment with how much we're thrown at all the time. So we don't have to wait for the Super Bowl. I think it's lost its appeal a little bit. But anyway, just a little tip on if you want to do something fun. Hey, Big Daddy, hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Let us know how you are doing. Ingles was always more expensive in Georgia. Ingles, Ingles, Food City, Publix, Harris Teeter, Bilo, if they still exist, Food Lion, all of those are a little bit more expensive than Walmart usually. But I'll tell you what's going on right now. Like Walmart here in the Asheville area, you can't get anything. Like you walk in there, produce is empty, shelves are half empty. If you make an order online to get it picked up, it's like half the stuff won't even be in your order. But Ingles doesn't have that problem. So, or the local other groceries, they seem to be sourced a little bit differently. So, I don't know if you all have seen that problem. I mean, we all know there's the supply chain constraints and things going on, but you are right. Those groceries are a percentage higher. Like take a box of like Triscuits. I like Triscuits. At Walmart, they're usually $2.50. Recently at Ingles, they went to $3.99 a box. That's pretty. So you're paying $1.50 premium per box. Although sometimes Ingles is good because things go on sale, buy one, get one free. You walk the store. What I used to find the best 1-2 punch, if you're on a budget, family or otherwise, is you go to a grocery like Ingles first and you walk through and get the deals. Not because they're a deal, but if you actually need the item, or the meat or whatever, and then you get that, and then whatever is left that you didn't get that wasn't on sale, then you head over to Walmart. It's a little bit more time consuming, but you can really save some money like that. Then if you really got some extra time, you can throw coupons into the mix, which I did like 15 years ago, and we could really do well. These days, time's a premium. Are you taking Valentine's Day off? It lands on a Monday. I am not taking Valentine's Day off. I hope everybody enjoys Valentine's Day. That's just in a couple weeks from now. But and I did not really pay attention that it's on a Monday, but that would make sense with today being the 31st. So, pardon me. I immediately assumed when you said taking off, you're thinking like work. You're talking about the live stream. Good question. I'll let you know next week. Because that lands on a Monday and we won't break routine that much with everything going on around the house, I'll play it by ear. I'll let you know as it gets closer. What? Today is Kentucky girl's birthday. I celebrated on Saturday, and Chris About Tea saying happy birthday to me on their live stream Saturday. You know what? I too have memorized the words to happy birthday. It is difficult. I know it, but I do know the words to happy birthday. So if you all at home want to join in with me, let's sing Kentucky Girl a happy birthday. Let me clear my throat. Let me get prepared for this. Let's make this a good one. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kentucky girl. Happy birthday to you. That was probably awful, but it was fun doing it. So anyway, happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed that, me being a goofball. And seriously, happy birthday to you. Let us know if you had cake or what you did. I hope that was cool. Are there any other major supermarkets besides Ingles and one Publix in Western North Carolina? Yeah, when I was out in Canton, I think I saw a Food Lion. I mean, I'm familiar with all these. Like, it used to be in South Carolina that there were like 5 or 6, like where my grandparents were in Florence, near Florence. There was like Piggly Wiggly, and there was Food Lion, and there was Harris Teeter, and there was Bilo, and there was Walmart, and all these other things. So, but around here, it's mostly Ingles dominates and Walmart, and then you've got Aldi and some of those other ones like that. We are having the same temps as you, Mr. Mountain Man, so far, except you had more snow. And, kind of to be expected, as I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. When those snowstorms come from the east to the west and they hit the mountains in East Tennessee, they tend to die out. And that's when could be Nashville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg get more snow than we do. When the moisture comes from the south, heavy from the Gulf, but the cold air dips from Canada from the north, and it comes up that way, that's when we get those like 18-inch snows. And that's what happened 2 weeks ago. And that is when, because we are at a higher elevation than Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, we usually get more snow than they do. But those east to west ones often, like watching like Ink in the South, when they'll report like snow and stuff like that, they'll get more snow than we will. But then if it comes from the south, a lot of times we'll get more snow than East Tennessee will. So it just depends. Yeah. Our cars have lots of salt on them. Yeah, I went and cleaned the minivan yesterday with the wand at one of those, drive-through one. I made sure to get the undercarriage to try to knock that salt off. You took a direct flight. No shorts. You were prepared. Sometimes I like wearing shorts on those flights just so people are like, what are you doing, you weirdo? I came from somewhere warm. We haven't had the snow out there yet in the Berg. It is predominantly scrape, read flat. Okay. Not much going on over in your way. All right. Last 2 weeks have had the absolute best games ever. Yeah, I do know. I have, I follow on after the fact about the football, but I haven't like actually invested in watching the football games. Gatlinburg was pretty dead today. Okay. Yep. Well, it's considered, I believe, the off season, like this time of the year. So it's not as pretty. Hey, I'll tell you one thing about Gatlinburg. You guys tell me if you agree or not. I am not a fan of them keeping up the Christmas lights in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg until the end of February or whatever it is. And if Smoky Mountain Hiker was here, we've talked about this before. There is something special about the Christmas season, and what makes it special is that it is a finite amount of time during the calendar year. That usually is somewhere in the ballpark of post Thanksgiving, give or take, to post New Year's, give or take. It runs long in the tooth. It's like February 1st. I don't know exactly when. Somebody probably knows. I get it that the appeal is if somebody comes later, they get to enjoy it, but it is so far gone. It doesn't feel like Christmas. It's not Christmas. So I don't know. And they call them holiday lights or winter lights, but they're Christmas lights. So I don't know. What's your all opinion on that? I say take them down after January 6th. By the 10th, take them down. And if they really want to do like a winter fest or something, like a winter, extravaganza, something like that, and really celebrate it because of Ober-Gatlinburg and all those things. Or if Asheville or any other place, you could strictly stick to, yes, like white snow or snowflakes or, different types of like just winter, but nothing with Christmas trees or reindeers or anything like that. I think Browns fans are pretty annoyed, and I'm surrounded by them. Yeah, I guess everybody else's team, like I said, Yes, and Dina's celebration was wonderful. We were talking about that earlier, and I mentioned Dr. J if you want to put any of the links on the channel or just direct people to your channel. I'll be stuck right in the middle or right in the Super Bowl hype. Yep, definitely being in Ohio. We have seen some shortage, but our local shops are better stocked. Agreed. Same thing here. Go to the local groceries because a lot of them are sourced from local farms and such. Yeah. Ingles is more expensive than just about every major supermarket in Raleigh. They have somewhat of a monopoly in Western North Carolina. A little bit. They're not awful. When I said that box of Triscuits, like again, if I did my entire grocery shopping at Ingles, I would probably pay a 10 to 15% premium. But what else I would get for that are carts that actually work, freshest produce, better than Walmart, a better shopping experience if that matters, and just a little bit easier. But it's one of those things over the last bunch of years. I used to say when I was in Florida, we've always been on a family budget. Man, if I had the extra money, I would shop at Publix. It was the people that worked there were the nicest. The carts were so nice. They have those wobbly wheels, all that stuff. It was really nice. But around here, it's not that bad. Maybe because we're so close to the headquarters, but they're a little bit more expensive. Stores I've been to are stocked very well. Okay. And it may have to do about our location. Let me know if you get a copyright claim on Happy Birthday. I know. I thought that, when was it? Wasn't it in the last few years? That's why in every movie, people used to do, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. They used to do that because I might mess up this history here, but the person who owned the rights to Happy Birthday was just not allowing it. And it was an astronomical amount of money to be able to have the copyright in order to sing it. So that's why all, movies and stuff would be some, created, non-traditional song. And if I get a copyright claim, so be it. But it'll be worth it. I tell you what, it'll be worth it. But I thought that it had expired in the last few years. And that's why now you're hearing it in TV shows and movies. Somebody might be able to validate that for me. I thought that's what happened, that whatever it was, the copyright or whatever rights were to it had, have a time limit on them. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to do that in the middle of the live stream. But anyway, great job. I appreciate it. And Kentucky Girl says your birthday is complete with the great Mr. Mountain Man's. Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I remember Winn-Dixie. We had when I lived in Charlotte, Winn-Dixie, Florida, Winn-Dixie. I used to go to Winn-Dixie quite a bit. America's Got Talent. Yeah, I don't know for happy birthday. I mean, the microphone makes me sound great, but I could do a pretty good happy birthday on that. Yeah, one of them, if it was Bilo or somebody merged, I think some of the grocery stores. I can't remember. That would be cool if I won. Could you imagine that for AGT? Happy birthday. Yeah, take down the Christmas lights already. I need to keep current on the comments because I know I track behind my conversations. But yeah, I love it. I love it when it's the season, but that's what makes it special. I mean, I just think it grows long in the tooth at that point, and it dilutes the special nature, especially for locals. I don't live there, but when I go over there, I was thinking about that time I went for Super Bowl Sunday, early February. I believe they were still up. And so, Dollywood could leave out the pumpkins until Easter. Yeah. Well, Dollywood, has some natural progression because they have to get their Christmas lights up, which pushes the fall harvest out. I was really impressed by Dollywood being a first timer as a family last year. I've mentioned this before and really did enjoy all of them. TBD if we get annual passes this year or not. We got a lot going on. I was talking with my wife. We got a few too many passes last year and we didn't use them all. We had like Ripley's passes, we had Chimney Rock passes, we had Arboretum passes, we had Dollywood passes. Life is extremely busy. Kids are into a lot of stuff. We did get our value out of Dollywood. The other ones, not so much. Maybe cut broke even on Ripley's, probably made out better on that one. I would like to do Ripley's again. I'd like to do Ripley. I like to do them all, but it doesn't make sense. It like always sounds good, but then we don't use them enough. So anyway, I have to figure out if that's going to happen again. Mid-January for Christmas lights is plenty. I agree. We live pretty close and don't normally stick around Gatlinburg at dark. Okay, to see the lights, yeah. But I think they're still up, and Pigeon Forge as well. It's been 44 years since the blizzard of 78 in Indiana. Yeah, you hear about all these old blizzards, that, or I think 87 had one. There's been a lot. Ingalls does have wide eye. That's the thing. Like, yeah, very nice, lower crowds, donuts. It's pretty nice. My tree is now Valentine's Day Mardi Gras tree. Well, that's a way to keep evolving it through the year if you want to do that. I'm actually going to, yes, Mardi Gras will be here soon. I have a article about Mardi Gras in the news notes tonight. Stay tuned. Yes, I think the courts have decided the copyright expired and the song is now in public domain. Thank you, Mr. Callers, for doing the research in the background. That's what I had believed as well. I had heard that it's been within the last 5 to 8 years, I believe, is what that is. Because I remember all of a sudden you'd start to hear the real happy birthday in shows and television. I was like, oh yeah. And then somebody had mentioned and I had forgotten. I like our grocery store. They carry your groceries out and friendly. Okay, that's cool. I mean, good, nice service at grocery store can definitely be a differentiator. Thank you, Dr. J. Also did some research. Warner Chappelle settled a $14 million in 2016. Court decided that the Happy Birthday song by the Hill Sisters, Patty and Mildred J. Hill, is in public domain. December 31st, 2021. Hey, well, Kentucky Girl, right on time. 1 month later, you got a very public happy birthday song on the Mr. Mountain Man live stream. So that's pretty cool. How long is the drive for you to get to Dollywood? Great question. It is about 2 hours. It's a beautiful drive. The drive does not bother us one bit. It's so pretty going through the gorge on I-40 and that drive. It is very nice. Like when we lived in Disney, we were within an hour and a half of Disney World when we had the passes. That wasn't as an exciting of a drive. In fact, it was kind of dangerous on I-4. But this drive is pretty. So it's like the whole experience. It's like the drive to Pigeon Forge, to go to Dollywood and all that. We really enjoy it. I bet the guy who owns Happy Birthday has to be pretty annoyed at the birthday parties telling everyone, yeah, that's my song, right? I wrote that. No, most think Mardi Gras is one day, but it's a season start January 6th. Thank you, Foxy, for explaining that, because the article I had tonight mentioned something about first night, January 6th. And I'm like, wait, what? I guess it's a season and I should know, but thank you. You're like seeing into the future into an article I have and already giving some information. That's pretty cool. I have to catch the I'm trying to click the button. I have to catch the rest on replay. Family wants the Roku at 9:30. Good night, y'all. You as well have a wonderful evening. Hey, I have a question for you all as far as television. I started watching because I got Paramount Plus. So if I do have some time, it's usually late at night and I will watch some TV. And I started watching 1883, which has got Sam Elliott, Faith Hill, Tim McGraw. It's written by Taylor Sheridan, who also did Yellowstone. And so I decided, because 1883 was so good, to start watching some Yellowstone, which starts with, in season 1, Kevin Costner and some other folks. Both shows are incredibly intense, like to the point where it's like, goodness, like, even Yellowstone season 1 is so intense. It's like, do I really want to watch this? I mean, no, it's a tremendous show. It's so good, but it's so intense. And it's like almost depressing. And but I like it, and I looked it up, and I wasn't the only one who thought it. Yellowstone is the 20 modern day version of Dallas. It's the Duttons are the modern Ewing family. And so and with modern television being able to take it like 5 notches up. Do any of you all watch that show? Either of those shows? If you haven't, and you don't mind some intensity, you can check it out. But I think they're both well written. Again, a gentleman by the name of Taylor Sheridan has written both. Do you have a computer or cell phone you can watch them on? Oh, asking Kentucky Girl a question. That show is good. 2 episodes I watched. You talking about 1883 or Yellowstone? It is pretty good. Both. On Wednesday, it's Groundhog Day. Any Mr. Mountain Man predictions? Yeah, according to what's going on outside right now, the old groundhog is going to see his shadow go back down in the hole, get warm, and winter for another 6 weeks. That's my prediction. I haven't seen him. Took a watch lighthearted comedies on YouTube. Yeah. I would definitely say this is the antithesis of that. It's way on the other end of the spectrum. But I like a variety of stuff if I'm able to capture it from the lighthearted. I think we talked about the other week. I still grasp on to my DirecTV subscription because of sports and the Steelers and the Sunday ticket and stuff. So I haven't cord cut, and I kind of flip through and go from a lot of things. Like I really enjoy YouTube and the 2 channels. I've talked about how I curate the thumbs up and what I like between the Eclectic Man and this. If I'm feeling like cars and mechanics and stuff, I flip over to my Eclectic Candyman, and all my stuff is curated for that. If I feel like travel and fun and entertainment and whatever, that's all on Mr. Mountain Man's channel, all thumbs up and stuff. And those are, all curated for that. But then sometimes I still like old fashioned canned TV shows, sports and stuff. So Amazon, believe it or not, I don't watch that much Netflix, and we have it. But I tend to watch Amazon Prime more, and now recently Paramount. All right, let's go ahead and get into news notes for the week of January the 31st, 2022. Here on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel, I do have a video that is in mid-process of editing. I would like to finish it this week and have it out. I have already alluded to the fact it is extremely untimely. My apologies, but it's still a video. It is from autumn during leaf season. It's still a fun video. I'm going to push it out there. I will try to do a much better job of that this year. That was what had happened was, that I'm seeing that part of the year is so busy. And then the Eclectic Candyman, I was doing more videos on that side that kept, button in, including last week. The reason the one is not out on this channel is because I had just moved over 1,000 subscribers, from last week's live stream. And I had a video that I wanted to publish in that timely manner, also thanking that community. And people seem to be enjoying that channel too. So it's a lot of fun. But I would hope to have another video by this time next week here on the channel. I had wished to get out and do something this past weekend, but the weather was a little inclement, and it's kind of challenging some, but we'll see where it goes on that. Let's see. Let me share my screen and I have a couple of Instagram pictures on the old Instagram here. We did get, let me see here. Is it up? There we go. We did get a little bit of snow. And it was pretty cool because when it started snowing, this was last Friday, we didn't get much accumulation. Maybe it was like, what you would call the old fashioned dusting. But when it started snowing, it was those huge snowflakes at first, just that really, really, beautiful mountain snow, big, big, big snowflakes. And even the picture kind of captures it there. You can kind of tell. And you could see on my sleeve there how big they were, those snowflakes. And then that was last night grilling. There was some drumsticks and some chicken breast. They turned out to be really good. And so not too bad. Got those going and then called it a night. The drumsticks turned out. Speaking of Ingles, I got those at Ingles. I went to Ingles one evening. I was stopping by there to get some milk. Did a quick walk through the meat aisle, and they always have that like marked down because it's about to expire. Nothing like turning green or anything. They just need to move the meat so they don't have to throw it in the trash can. Well, they had like these organic premium drumsticks. Not that I had to have organic, but they were really good. And they were like, they were like 30% off or something like that. So that's what that was right there. I think the chicken's just run of the mill Walmart chicken breast or something like that. Anyway, you want to check out, that is on Instagram, Mr. Mountain _man. And so that is pretty much it here for news and notes of the week of January the 31st, 2021. Congrats on all your successes. It's not an easy task. Yeah, I think, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Everybody knows my motives around here. I mean, it's just to have fun, redistribute back into the community. I really like that side of Mr. Mountain Man, being able to donate, choosing typically charities here in Western North Carolina. It's not much, but it's something. The Eclectic Candyman took a turn I didn't expect too. The Eclectic Candyman originally was going to be just a dumping ground of raw footage that wasn't well edited. I wasn't going to spend any time because Mr. Mountain Man, this channel, was heavily consuming the editing and, curating time. And so I was like, I'm just going to take a video. I don't care if it's shaky or blurry or what, and I'm just going to put it out there. And if it works, it's great. If not, but then as time went on, I was like, no, let me make these nice. And then the Craftsman thing started, which I thought was fun and I didn't think would take off, and it did. But that's one of the successes on YouTube, is having a specific theme, and that's working over there. So yeah, I appreciate that. A lot of YouTubers are putting out quite a few off-season videos. You won't be the only one. Oh, okay, good. That makes me feel better. I don't have a Blackstone grill, but I think Larry does, and he's got some videos on that. Thank you, Foxy, for showing that, the Eclectic Handyman. We just started up our reviews today. Video next week. That sounds good. Everybody make sure to look out for that. Hello, Todd. Hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Let us know how you are doing. Let me get back to the other thing. Let's go ahead and get into news and notes for the week of January the 31st, 2022. All right, here we go. Here we go. Are you guys excited? Like, what are you going to learn today? What are you going to find out? What's going to happen? What does Mr. Mountain Man have? Is it going to be interesting or boring? Let's see. You like when I talk to myself? Make sure I didn't miss any comments before. Why is that one cut off? I can't see at the bottom. This is weird. Eclectic Candyman taught me a better way to fix my toilet. Mrs. Carlos, thanks you. So that toilet video, the toilet in our house is a bit older, and it has a unique seal on it, that triangle one. It's that, what is it? It wasn't a Delta toilet, Kohler toilet. And I couldn't find much information at the time. I said, let me make a video. And plus, those kits are sold at Home Depot and Lowe's, and anybody can do them. like replacing a single part, unless it's a lever, is kind of pointless because it's not that difficult to put the whole kit. Anyway, you guys know I can go on tangents talking about stuff on that side of the fence. All right, here we go. First story here. Let me move that off. It's titled "Save Our Smokies" is raising money to remove graffiti in Smoky Mountains. This was an article from, I believe, over in Knoxville. This is a reoccurring topic here on this channel. You can see the poor taste there. Unfortunately, that person wanted to spray paint their name on that split rail fence. I learned that from this channel. I love that style of fence, by the way. But that poor fence, that is an overlook into Gatlinburg from the bypass, I believe. Anyway, that stinks. The other one to the right, I'm not exactly sure where that is. That looks like a tunnel or something going, underground or something like that. I didn't get there was no caption for that one that indicated where exactly it was. But from the article, because Save Our Smokies trying to remove it, graffiti is on the rise inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. According to Save Our Smokies, to help remove graffiti, the nonprofit is raising money to buy equipment to support removal efforts inside the park. Save Our Smokies currently has an agreement with the United States Forest Service to remove graffiti in Pisgah National Forest. Beginning in the spring, the nonprofit will start training with Great Smoky Mountains National Park personnel in graffiti removal while working to remove graffiti from parking areas, overlooks, and rock walls. Quote, "It's very frustrating to see it continuing to grow. It's even to the point we see people out there doing the graffiti even as we're doing cleanups." This is Jerry Willis, president and founder of Save Our Smokies. He also stresses that people need to recognize that graffiti inside the park, like carving your name into a fence, is not allowed. To remove the graffiti, listen to this. This is kind of interesting. A chemical product called elephant snot, that's the name, is brushed onto the graffiti and then pressure washed off. Save Our Smokies hopes to raise enough money to buy a pressure washer trailer that includes 100 feet of hose and 150 to 200 gallon water tank minimum. Wills hopes they can buy it before the spring so that when training begins, they can hit the ground running. To donate to the fundraiser, visit Save Our Smokies Facebook page. All of the money donated will go to buying equipment. The group will also be doing a park-wide cleanup on April 23rd. I don't know. Would you guys confront somebody if you saw somebody doing graffiti, or would you just mind your business in case the person was nuts? I don't know. I don't encourage any, kind of stuff, but I probably be like, "What are you doing?" Like, stop that. But that's pretty bold if somebody's doing it in plain sight like that. But anyway, it's such a shame. Cool that this organization is going to help with that. It's a shame because with the increased park visitation, it only takes a few folks to do, to destroy and mess up. I just don't understand why people want to go into the park and do that. I don't know. I don't get the mentality. I don't understand it. I mean, I know it happens, but I just don't, especially there. It's kind of a remote area. Well, maybe not that fence, but some of these areas that are deeper into the park, you have to want to go there. I mean, which means you're there probably for a purpose to visit. What do you need to do that? Anyway, I don't know. Let's see if anybody said anything. That's a lot of snot. That is going to be, especially for that picture on the right, right? Yeah. Yes, it is a great cause. It is a really good cause that they are out there doing this because, think about it. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're by yourself or you take your kids out there or something, like, what if like you go up to you're on your vacation and you go up to that overlook in Gatlinburg and you're like, "Come on, kids, let's get a picture." And you get out and there's like a 4-letter F word or something, on the fence. I mean, whatever. I mean, I get it. It happens, whatever, but it's just, it just stinks that type of stuff. And I've shown that before, outside that park. The Blue Ridge Parkway has a problem with that. All the signs like, Mount such and such, 4,500 feet. It's like everybody has a pocket knife ready to carve their name or spray paint. I don't know. It's too bad they don't have a way to have cameras around to catch these people and send them a bill. I totally, yeah, I mean, they'd probably spray paint over the lens. It is unfortunate that they can't be policed a little bit better, but the national parks are like, they're always running on a shoestring budget to begin with, as evidenced by the other conversations we've had about the facilities at some of these parks are just overrun in the summer and really nasty. You'd rather be in nature than use the facilities. I'd offer to take their picture for officials, of course, like if you saw somebody doing something. And then it goes beyond that, like the cabins, like those historic cabins. Pisgah National Forest, which they mentioned in there, that's the one that was one of the earliest conversations on this channel that I said we went with the family to grill. I didn't do a video there, and there was a dumpster, and it was just like full. But to me, if the dumpster's full, I'm like, all right, it's not gonna be fun, but we got to take this garbage bag all the way back home or somewhere else, maybe Ingles down the road, and then I could put it in, another disposal container. Nope, the people were like, whatever, and would just throw it out, and then the bag would open, and then the stuff would like fall out of the bag, and it was like a really bad scene. And then, of course, your wildlife. Anyway, it's going to be a problem. I take a picture of them, get their license number, turn it into the authorities, let them handle it, no confrontation. That's the smart. That's all the smart stuff. You're right. Like, you get, I mean, somebody that's that bold to do it in daylight, if you say something to them, it could, yeah, not be a good situation. So I think that is the wise recommendation is, hey, look at the picture of the mountain. Click picture of the license plate. Is probably better. So great thing going on there. Next, there we go. You know what? I'm serious. This is like, I'm a little bit tired today. I put this article in out of order in third, moved it to the second slide, and I did not update the title. This is the wrong title. That is not the right title. Okay. Now you don't. Okay. I'm going to have to read it from the URL. Let's do that. No, we're not going to change it on the spot. This should be the title of it, by the way. Peer Ironman or Ironman competition eyes the Blue Ridge Parkway, but it conflicts with the National Park Service policies. So the Ironman is like it's a competition of swimming, biking, and running. And the premise here is that they're inquiring about closing a section of the Blue Ridge Parkway in order to do the bike riding part. Let me just read the article. I do have that. A proposal to close a section of the Blue Ridge Parkway for an Ironman competition runs counter to the National Park Service policies and regulations, according to Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility. The proposed race would close 21 miles of the scenic highway to the public for a day in early June to allow for the road bike competition of the race. All right, can you guys read my mind already? I don't know what the rest of the article, I forget. I didn't read the rest yet, but we just had an article about people doing graffiti and all this stuff. I'm sure a well-organized event that was trying to highlight the area and make it beautiful would be 10 times less obtrusive to the mountainous area than whatever the vandalism that's going on. So for me, I don't see a big problem with this, but somebody's got a problem. Special use permit request comes from the Ironman group, which wants 21 miles of the bicycle ride during this triathlon take place on the parkway on Sunday, June the 5th, a great time of the year. The permit application requests full closure of both directions of the motor road take effect the afternoon of Saturday, June 4th from milepost 91, that's in Virginia, to milepost 112, also in Virginia, and reopen by mid-afternoon on Sunday the 5th. National Park Service is taking public comment February 1st, tomorrow. Key issue with the proposal is that the Ironman Group is a commercial entity and that the activity conflicts with the National Park Service. Still, I would say the best argument is that's a problem for traffic, but they're saying it's just because it's a commercial group. Peer reminds the NPS that the Organic Act requires the NPS conserve the resources of the parks. I appreciate that, and manage the parks for, quote, enjoyment. A park visitor riding a bicycle on the Blue Ridge Parkway, either singly or in a group, clearly falls within the enjoyment that the governing law contemplates. The proposal by Ironman is not an equal footing with the park's visitor bike ride. Ironman's proposal differs in its fundamental character, wrote the comments signed by Jeff Rush. Unlike a park visitor's bike ride, The Ironman Group stands to profit, indeed intends to profit from the event. Thus, the event by nature is a questionable use of the MPS system. Rush pointed out, embedded within the request for a permit, this commercial event is also intended to create profits for the media that will record, live stream, broadcast the event. Because the event's use of the parkway could set a precedent for how parks could be used, the Park Service would need to apply a stricter standard of scrutiny, such as generating an environmental assessment and considering whether it's appropriate. You guys reading my mind yet on what they could do to make it worthwhile? Furthermore, Rush wrote, parks are not to be managed as a special venue for spectacles, athletic competition, or the like, developed to be a cash register for the promoters. He also pointed out there are plenty of roads near the parkway that could handle the cycling component of the race. I get it. I get the arguments. Here's what you do with my wrong title there. You donate 30% or whatever of the proceeds from the profit to the National Park Service and the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so it's not just a profit and run, let us use and abuse the parkway and hightail it. And then really you got a slippery slope of commercial entities that want to then maybe make their way in. Well, Ironman got to do it. Why can't we have our parade, on the Blue Ridge Parkway? So, but I think if they made a sizable donation for a cause for the parkway, it would certainly offset that. Of course, that's a brainstorming idea, but again, wrong title on the article. It's about the Ironman competition wanting to use the BRP for a portion of their race. Let me see. I picked up a bunch of fast food trash. The rest area you did your first snow report. That's how I knew where you were. Oh, so I've only been there when there's snow. Is that a litter problem up there? That's a shame because that's another beautiful area as well. Let me know about that, Mr. Carlos. Save our Smokies from motorcycles too. Yeah, sorry. Okay, now I know what you're saying. Yes, no, it was the wrong thing. As I did. It wouldn't be shut down that long. No, it said it was for the Saturday, and then it would reopen Sunday. But the articles points to it's less about the amount of time that they're closing and more about the significance of it being a commercial act instead of an individual one. It's not just bikes. There's support vehicles, media vehicles, emergency vehicles. It has certain impact and it seats a bad precedent for private enterprise. That's a true statement. If they are going on the berms and things like that, I wouldn't be so worried about the pavement because most of those cars that I've seen before are very small that go along with the bicycles and stuff, like you see in the Olympics or whatnot. But anyway, I guess there's two sides to it. It used to be that, promoting an area wasn't a bad thing because it could help with, tourism and there's a lot of industry that thrives on it. But, obviously the Blue Ridge Parkway is not, striving for that necessarily. Although they do have gift centers and stuff along the Blue Ridge Parkway. But anyway, interesting topic. There was one trash can. It was overflowing and blowing all over the place. Okay. That was probably a staffing issue then. But once again, if I go to one of those garbage cans and they're like overflowing, I won't put anything in there because I know that's exactly what's going to happen. If I just let me wedge it in there, 2 minutes later, it'll blow away and make a big old mess. All right, let me get to the last one, properly titled How to Celebrate the 2022 Mardi Gras Season the Asheville Way. Mardi Gras is rolling through Asheville once again. New Orleans isn't the only place for parades, king cakes, and having a ball each year. Communities far and wide observe the centuries-old holiday differently, preserving traditions while making new ones. Asheville Mardi Gras, King, Beau Jolly, and Queen Andrea Hall are inviting the local community to catch a spirit in 2022. I like the traditional aspect of the festive season. I think it's a community spirit, and our take on it is come up with some causes to better the community and fix up and work on things throughout the year. In light of the current situation, just to be able to get together and do it in the streets is going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. This is what Foxy mentioned. The season officially began with the 12th night on January 6th. This year, Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday will fall on March 1st, about a month from now, in Asheville. The party began with a virtual party on 12th night and will continue with a downtown parade on February 27th. Mardi Gras revelers can get a taste of the season. I don't know if that was a Freudian slip, by the way. Mardi Gras revelers can get a taste of the season in New Orleans all season long. I love king cake. I haven't had one in years. I love those things. I think I talk about it every year. I never get one, but here's in the article. Here are some local businesses selling freshly baked king cakes. Maybe I should get one of these. City Bakery pre-order. The Fresh Market, fresh pre-made cakes at the bakery beginning the week of January 24th. Philo Pastries, pre-order. Geraldine's Bakery, pre-order. Ivory Road Cafe and Kitchen, pre-order. Publix, pre-order. Babette's Beignets and Coffee doesn't offer king cakes, but is serving beignets, beignet sandwiches and Louisiana lattes made with coffee and chicory. Yardy Gras is another place. Last year, Yardy Gras took off as traditional. Oh, no, pardon me. This is a different section. It's hard to read in the notes here. Yardy Gras. It's a play on the words yard for your yard at your house. Last year, Yardy Gras took off as traditional public celebrations were put on hold due to the pandemic. Revelers transferred their parade energy and creativity from their floats to their homes to present front yards decked out in themed decorations. Yardy Gras will commence again this year, which provides an avenue to show Mardi Gras spirit while still social distancing. How to celebrate the 2022 Mardi Gras season the Asheville way? With the parade. Let's see here. I lost my spot. The 13th annual Mardi Gras parade wound its way through the South Slope neighborhood on February 23rd, 2020. But this year, let's see, do I have the date? Downtown Parade. The Mardi Gras will roll at 3:05 p.m. on February 27th. The parade route will travel along the South Slope, beginning at Cox Avenue and Hilliard Avenue, and traveling south to Buxton Avenue around Banks Avenue and return to Cox Avenue. It's themed the Great Comeback Carnival. It's an expression of creativity, time to get everyone together and celebrate. This year, our theme for the parade is the Great Comeback Carnival. For us, not to be able to get together and do it last year and the year before, it was right before the pandemic hit. So I think it will be a big deal for people to get out and express themselves, be a part of the community, and participate however you want to. Have any of you all been to New Orleans before? I have. And I've been to, what's the name of that street? My goodness, why am I having a brain fart? You guys will beat me to it. I cannot believe it's because I'm a little bit tired. I'm seeing it. Urban Street. Jeez, oh Pete's. It's like forgetting the name of my football team or something like that. Like what were they called? They got the 3 stars on the helmet. What the Pittsburgh? No, Steelers. Yeah, Bourbon Street. I've been to Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's interesting. Well, interesting, bold letters. It could be a really fun place if you don't mind high energy and that kind of excitement. What was an interesting take to me, though, was that the way that movies and television kind of portray Bourbon Street as like this, cultural food and kind of, jazz music and fun. It's kind of dumpy. It's like dumpy. It's a lot of drinking in bars and like wild nightlife, which again, if you like it, it could be a really fun time. It's an adult fun time. I accentuate adult, but it's not the way that I had always seen it portrayed. Like, oh, it's gonna, you're gonna get this, wonderful like Creole, like food, music, and like just this cultural experience. No, it's like Vegas and Louisiana, basically. Well, at least that's how it seemed when I was there. But let me know if you've been there. I'm kind of, I'm an eclectic person, so I don't get, pigeonholed to an exact type of thing. And I did find it interesting and kind of fun, but it's certainly not for everybody. It's probably again likened to like kind of the Vegas, very different. Vegas is a lot bigger. but than what Bourbon Street is. But anyway, Mardi Gras here in Asheville. Never participated in any of these events, but it looks like the folks are having a fun time, and it might be pretty interesting if you happen to be in Western North Carolina. Yes, thank you, Bourbon Street, Bourbon Street, Bourbon Street. I can't believe that I was forgetting it. I'm blurry. Oh, okay. Sorry. I hope it clears up. Maybe that's why I'm losing people up in the corner there. I can see well, it's also getting later. I know people go to bed. You cannot pay me to go to Mardi Gras. Way too many people for me. Yes, definitely. If you're not into crowds, I have not been. When I said I was in New Orleans, I was not there for Mardi Gras. It was a different time of the year. I was not there. It was busy anyway all the time of the year. Difference in Nashville, before they throw you free beads, they'll yell, "Show us your grits." That's a Southern way of doing it, right? Yeah, I like it. That's good. That's good. I went to Bourbon Street before. Never again. It was nasty in every way. Yeah, it's very adult. And again, that's the thing I was talking about. Like movies and TVs, maybe like Travel Channel shows and stuff, kind of showed like this, cultural experience. No, it's like I said, it's like Vegas. It's a very adult place. 200 daiquiri bars. Yes. There is another street that is coining itself and marketing itself as the kind of cleaner, the other stuff I was talking about, like good jazz music and stuff. And I believe it is called Market Street. I said marketing. I believe it is called Market Street, Louisiana. Let me see. New Orleans, Market Street. Is it Market Street? Maybe it's Market Street. I can't remember. There is a Market Street. I'm not sure if it's that one or if it's something else. But anyway, there's another street that is a little less of what Bourbon Street is. I'd like to go there to hear jazz music. Find out the other street I'm talking about and try that one if you want. There is jazz music. There are places that do offer jazz music along Bourbon Street. It's not absent of it. I've seen videos of Mardi Gras, and it was really neat. I have been to New Orleans 7 times, and I enjoyed it. It's changed a lot over the years. And I'm wondering, Rita, this is if from your experience, maybe what I'm talking about is the way it used to be. And I know my parents are here. They've been to, there before. They went many moons ago too, probably in the 90s, and I think it may have changed too. But yeah, now it's you gotta kind of gear up for it. I love the beignets; they are so good. Been there a few times. Okay, yes. The tourists make it nasty. Yeah, probably. It gets, it's interesting because aside from New Orleans, I was having a conversation with my wife about that last night. There was a good video that Speaking of the Yankee in the South had done called Zoders or Yoders. I can't remember what it's called. It's a big hotel. You can't really tell in Gatlinburg, but it stretches way back. And it's getting a little older. And Will had made a comment that, it gets, the amount of people that go through it in the summer, my words, not his, it kind of gets ridden hard. You got a lot of families, a lot of people. What I was going to say there, and in relation to what Rita's saying, I feel like a lot of places are like this. And I was talking to my wife yesterday about that. Like a lot of the hotels and resorts that were built in maybe 60s, 70s, 80s. And, 2 or 3 decades ago, they were only 15 years old or 20 years old, and they were still newer. But a lot of these buildings in Myrtle Beach and in Gatlinburg, maybe New Orleans, Miami Beach, or all these high touristy places, these buildings just have masses of people coming through them and not respecting the property. They I also think there's a high sense of entitlement these days. Well, I paid a lot, for this room. I'm going to use it up, kind of mentality. And not everybody's like that, but I have a feeling that there are people like that based on the behavior I see these days. And I don't think that helps the cause of a lot of hotels and resorts and areas with this mentality of like, this is me, mine, I deserve it, and I'm going to use it up. So it's got to be incredibly expensive for resort owners to keep up with like remodeling and, all right, I'm going to gut this room down to the frame, put like new drywall, new floors, new carpet, redo the bathroom, because you can tell those hotels when they put a layer of caulk over, the bathtub, and they kind of just try to, put a facade over it, but you can still tell it's kind of nasty and old when you go to these hotels and stuff. So, and that's what, we, see. And now, post pandemic, that all the hotels don't even clean rooms anymore. Like, I don't know if you've been to a hotel recently. They don't offer like this whole thing that we all assume like the cleaning service would come every day is non-existent. Hotels no longer do it, but they haven't really adjusted the price for it. So right now I think they're on the good side of higher rates, but yet not having to pay staff for cleaning. But we could tell, like when we went to Myrtle, there was that pop out bed that came out from the wall. And if you look behind the bed, once it popped down, it was kind of gross, but it was an expensive resort. And so it's just a lack of, deep cleaning and, something that has families week in and week out and week in and week out. So, yeah, I think, as the masses continue to use up all these high touristy areas, it's interesting to see, what places can keep up with it and what places become like old. And, it's kind of interesting. What do you guys think? I don't know. Tell me what you know. Is that Beale Street in Memphis is a lot like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, maybe? Is that what? Yeah. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm assuming that was correct. Cafe du Monde is on Market, where you get the beignets. I don't think it's Market Street. It's like, what is the name of that street? Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Frenchman Street. That is it, 100%. I wanted to say like Marchman or something. Frenchman Street. Have any of you that are aware of New Orleans heard of Frenchman Street? That is the one that I heard is like the newer, kind of more clean and cultural type street with your jazz and all that kind of stuff. So Frenchman Street. Look into that if people that enjoy New Orleans. Only Beale Street is the blues. Okay. I hope it's a French pastry covered in powdered. Hope it is a French pastry covered in powdered sugar. Yeah, the beignet. They go through at night and wash down the streets, and it is clean. I like the old buildings. The architecture is really beautiful down there. Yeah. NOLA is a high crime area, and everybody calls it NOLA down there, by the way, too. Like, yeah, nobody says like New Orleans, Louisiana. The place I was at, though, was kind of cool. It was right near the dome there where they play football, where the Saints play. I was like at the hotel next door. It was kind of cool. It was an interesting time. Is it blurry for anyone else? I apologize if it is. I tried to get it prepared. Let me know. Yeah, all big cities definitely do have their crimes. Oh, thank you, Dr. J and Rita, for it's all clear. Okay. Yep. French Market on Decatur Street is where Cafe du Monde is. Okay. And then, like I said, the other one is called Frenchman Street, is like something to look into for those that like NOLA. So anyway, something going on here. This does not look anything. This looks quite family friendly. It's about getting beads and maybe some candy and some other stuff and people just goofing around. Asheville is a very cultural place. There's a lot of art and stuff like that. Like, almost in an ironic way, I'm all for like events that cater to adults and kids. Like Disney World was like that. Like, it's not just for kids. Like, if you're an adult, Walt Disney's original thing, he even said, I wanted something where both the kids and adults could enjoy. But sometimes I still, go to things and I'm like, this seems like it's a little bit more for the kids or the kids to enjoy. So, I want to take a step back and let the kids enjoy. Well, we went to that downtown holiday parade, Christmas holiday parade here in Asheville. And there were a lot of like older adults, when I say, and that were not there with kids, that were, which I thought was great. I mean, they're having a great time, but they were like really obtrusive, like getting in front of the kids. And I don't know, I just felt it weird. I mean, everybody's afforded an equal right to have a good time, but something to me was like the parade, they were throwing out candy, and when the adults kept like getting in front of the kids and in the way, I was like, really? I was like, just go behind and like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was a bad observation, but this looks like to be a family friendly place. Mardi Gras at Put-in-Bay, not family friendly, I'd imagine. Put-in-Bay is also, well, it can be family friendly when the sun's out. I would not say as much at night unless you stay on the backside of the island. We need to make a trip to Asheville. Asheville is way underrated. I always talk about it here on the channel. It's not underrated to everybody. A lot of people know this area well. Our airport is busy. We have added many flights to destinations. A lot of people are moving here. Of course, the highlight attraction is the Biltmore Estate. Most people come for that. The mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway, the food, the Grove Park Inn. I mean, the Asheville goes on and on. It's so fantastic that it is complementary and so different than East Tennessee and Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. It is so different. I don't know if I'm making a good analogy, but like, if you went to the beaches, Asheville would be like Hilton Head or Charleston, South Carolina, that type. And Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge would be Myrtle Beach. One is wild and alive and energetic and crazy and fun. And the other one is, cultural and art and refined and, just very different, which makes it great because both sides of the mountain have something fun to do, something a little bit for everybody. I have people on this channel all the time say how much they enjoy Asheville. Because of its more quiet nature at times. Although you can get involved in stuff downtown that's pretty crazy. Didn't Disney have a place just for adults? It was called Paradise Island. Not sure if it's there. So yes, it was back in the 80s, and it was called Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island was down there, and it has gone through three evolutions. It went from Pleasure Island to what was called Downtown Disney, and then from Downtown Disney to Disney Springs, which it is today. And it was originally catered for that. It was like there was a country. It was very clean, but it was still adult nightlife. Like there was a comedy club, a country music club. There was a couple other places, and at night you had to be over 18 to get on the island. They stopped that somewhere in the 90s, I believe. And then it became called Downtown Disney. It still had a mix, but it wasn't as much about, just adults only because it became a big shopping venue. They brought in Planet Hollywood and eventually Disney Quest and a lot of other things. And then now its recent incarnation is Disney Springs. It's a mega shopping and dining area that really caters to the evening activities. I won't call it nightlife. I would say the evening activities. For those that have fatigue from the parks and want to go shopping and dining, they go to Disney Springs, and you don't need a ticket. Just Googled it. You are closer to us than Gatlinburg. Are you serious? I don't know exactly where you all are, but yeah, Gatlinburg for us is 2 hours, pretty much straight over I-40, and then you got to take a few roads and get down there that way. New Orleans is fine for family. Just stay off Bourbon Street at night. So many bars, but there's a lot of nice places in New Orleans, very historical. That is a true statement too. I shouldn't condense NOLA to Bourbon Street. It was focused because we were talking about Mardi Gras, but Rita makes an excellent point here. It would sell it short because there is a lot of history and culture. You don't have to go down there. I can't say the same for Vegas. Somebody might make that argument. I've been to Vegas several times for work. But Vegas is a little more difficult. I just would have no interest in taking the kids there. My wife, yeah, but not the kids. But anyway, there's umpteen billion places to go on this earth. It doesn't have to be, these ones. Kind of like City Walk at Universal. Yes, City Walk and what was Downtown Disney were pretty much competition from the two parks. City Walk has continued on. I've been to City Walk many times in that area for work as well. like when you guys have seen the Cabana Bay and stuff like that, that's near City Walk. City Walk has some of the best restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants is there called the Chocolate Emporium, which I snuck in to that video. Absolutely fantastic. But they still have a little bit of nightlife, but they do not have any criteria that you have to be over 18, because it actually, wasn't a big Universal person as I was Disney, but to get to Universal, you have to cut through City Walk from the parking garage to get there. But yes, good call out there, Larry. The big thing was when it opened that they served alcohol every night. They would have fireworks and celebrate New Year's Eve. Yes, at City Walk, right? Is that what you're talking about? Because they had a big Mardi Gras deal too. And it was, no, pardon me. It was New Year's Eve every night, but I think they've toned that down a bit. Like, one of the things that happened too in that part of, because I used to live there and well familiar with that area, was the continued saturation of entertainment. When you're talking about the 80s, so if you look at Walt Disney World was built and opened in it was built before, but opened in 1971. So when you're talking about the 80s or 90s, you're only talking a decade and a half later. Central Florida is still building up. It's a well-known place, but it, doesn't have all that stuff. But as time goes on, every year that you add to it, a new building, a new place, a new entertainment empire that's not related to Disney, the competition grew and grew and grew. So these places had to evolve too, and weren't able to be as niche and had to, compete with others. I have an idea. We should plan a group cruise in the future when we have mandates to drop from Charleston to Bahamas. Who'd love it? Have so much fun. I met my wife on a cruise. Cruises can be quite a bit of fun. These days it's tough because of what's happened in the confined space, but cruising can be a lot of fun, and you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of it. I think some of the big YouTube channels should try to organize something like that. I don't see it in my near-term future. Any cruise I'd go on, I'd probably have to take the family, but I think that's a pretty cool idea that you got there. Let me get to the weather forecast. Here you go. Just like I mentioned, this is very, very, very typical Western North Carolina wintertime. If you're not from the area, high 50 degrees, lows in the 20s, 30s, or 40s. I don't really see any snow in the forecast. I do see rain. I hope the rain comes and washes away the salt on the road so I can get the black car back out on the road. It's, kind of chilly at night, but these are pretty mild temperatures right now. And there you have it, folks. That is the that was the news and notes for the week of January 31st, 2022. Great job, guys, tonight on the conversations. I really appreciate it. We always have such a good time. I still have that problem where every time in my live stream I fire up housekeeping and news and notes, half the people drop off. And then the half that stay, we have these fantastic, cool, fun conversations, and we talk about neat things. So I don't know how to market it better. I wish we could mark it up that it got later, but it's almost specifically when I say, all right, guys, let's get into housekeeping. Boop, 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 boop. I see people drop off. So I don't know. I still don't have that formula figured out, but I think people are missing out because I think they're fun stories. I still question, and people have chimed in about it, but like if somebody joined us from Colorado or California, they may not find things about Asheville, North Carolina very interesting. So I guess I could understand that. But we talked about New Orleans tonight. We talked about the Iron Man tonight. We talked about graffiti, which, doesn't have to be just about the Smokies. Maybe it would be the Rockies or somebody's, if they're from another country or something like that. So I don't know. I haven't figured that one out. I will continue to try to monitor it. But if anybody is listening to this later and wants to be, transparent of whether they like or something or want to let us know, in a non-trolling manner and some true feedback, if there is something about it, let me know. Let's see. Yes, a cruise would be a pretty cool thing. Don't let me impede any kind of planning. If the community wants to do something, you by all means. I mean, seize the day. Carpe diem, seize the day. There's a guy in LA that has a huge Shelby collection. It was on the news a couple weeks ago. For those of you that, speaking of which, Larry, like car enthusiast, I, still having cable TV, the Barrett-Jackson auctions were on. And I'll mention very, very briefly. I know this will bore a few people, but Larry will probably find this interesting. So the GT500 KR King of the Road car that I got was only the second time they had done that production. They had done it in the 60s, 2008, 2009 in limited production. And the day I had bought the car in that month, there was no other KRs after 09. Very, very coincidentally, Shelby was hiding that they were coming back out with the King of the Road. But it's extremely limited. You have to have a 2020, 2021, or 2022 GT500. Mind you, that those 3 model year cars, the base GT500, you're looking at with the dealer premium, usually about $115,000 to $120,000 for that car. The KR package on top of that is another $60,000. All right. You're at 165, 175. They're only doing 60 per year. 60, 60, 60. They're only making 180 total. Those cars will never, ever be driven. I doubt it. But they sold car number 1 at Barrett-Jackson for charity. The first KR 2022 went for $700,000. It went to charity. It was for, I think, juvenile diabetes. And there were 2 charities that it was related to. But anyway, it was kind of cool. Yeah. And the other thing that I'm being awakened to in the world of these cars is people who do not drive them. I do not drive mine in the salt. I get it, but I still consider my car a daily driver. But a lot of people, they put those things up with a car cover for the winter. I don't know. I would have a hard time just staring at my car in the garage. I like driving them. So I drive my car. We won't desert you. I appreciate it. Well, I enjoy the conversation of the folks that are here. You have a great live stream. It's a wonderful hidden gem for us. We have found. I appreciate it. There's still something, like I said, though, where people trail off the minute I open my mouth. All right, let's get into housekeeping. Wow, what a fun night this has been. We have traveled everywhere. Such a fun. I appreciate it. We did. We did the Smokies. We did. Well, technically that Iron Man was Virginia. And then we talked about New Orleans because of Asheville. So we got a little mix. Cover a variety of interesting topics. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, no food, but I did talk about king cakes, and I talked about Chocolate Emporium, and I also talked about, I showed the grill food, and then I also talked about something else that, Rita had cooked a good meal, and I talked about the Ingles Cafe. So we actually did a pretty good share of food talking tonight. It's really special how you respond to each and every person. Well, screenshot this because I transparently admit that if we ever get into the realm 3 or 4 years from now where we double, tripled, quadrupled the number of people here, like just say organic growth, that may not be a possibility. Like my voice right now feels like I'm at Gold's Gym and I'm working out literally because I don't have a counterpart, talking with me, like a lot of fun live streams do. I don't, I just, it's, I need my water. I followed Guy Hoovie's garage. He was streaming from the auction. Oh, he has a Shelby GT500. He said he was going to have it KR'd. Cool. Didn't know you could have it added after the fact. Here's a fun fact. My car was what you call a pre-title KR package, which makes it very special. Not my car specifically, but the way they did the 08 and 09 KRs. The GT500 was made in Michigan. It was shipped to Shelby to have the KR package added. Then it went to Ford and sold as a KR from Ford. That means pre-title, because then it would be sold to the dealer and then titled. The new KRs are post-title. You have to buy the GT500 from the dealer. Then you have to get in line from Shelby. Orders start tomorrow, February 1st. And if you get it, then you can have your GT500 KR'd, as you mentioned. I drive mine. That's why I bought it. I'm in that same camp. I was looking online at the forums and, there's a lot of people. It's kind of, I don't want to say combative, but definitely people on both sides of the fence. I met a guy at a coffee shop here who had seen me driving mine to get some coffee. and he was with his wife. He goes, "What is that your car out there?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, What?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a 2009 GT500 car." He goes, "Wow, I own a 2008 silver and blue GT500 car." I'm like, "That's fantastic." And he was talking about it. Long story short, he never drives it. It's like in the garage with a cover. He wanted to give it to his son. I think that's very respectable and nice, but he never gets to have much fun. In fact, he drives it so little. When he drove it, he like ran over a berm at the gas station, tore up the carbon fiber splitter and all this stuff. It was so funny because he owned the car since he bought it, and I had only owned it for a couple weeks. And I swear to you, I'm being humble, I knew more about the car than he did. He's like, "I don't know what to do." I had already done all the research about this carbon fiber splitter. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you could do this. They don't make them anymore. There's a guy who got the mold. You can get one from him, but you got to reach out and blah, 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 blah." So anyway, all that tangent. Yeah, I don't have that mentality of park them and stare at them. I mean, if people get a satisfaction out of like looking at their cars, then so be it. But I think they're meant to be driven. People leave live streams for different reasons. Maybe one day they will tell you why. Maybe it's the word housekeeping. Oh, is that like sounds bad or something like that? I actually, truth be told, I think I took that from another channel. It was like general audience, random notes, not the news and notes, but like things for the channel that are upcoming and happening. Never realized how close we are. May have to plan a review in Asheville soon. Yes. With due, you know, notice, I may be able to meet up if you ever do, if you want to. But I apologize to everybody ahead of time. Like, please accept my apology. Like, I know I like at the facade, I look like the template of other channels. I just don't have the freedom. And I apologize. I do. I don't want anybody to feel like I stand people up or can't commit. I know Larry's been in town and some others, but it is just a really like what I present here. This is me, but the reality is it's just a nonstop. I mean, Rita got to get together with Dr. J. That would have been cool, but it was a Thursday. Larry was here, I think, a couple of Thanksgivings ago, but we had all kinds of plans and family in town. So 3 years ago, I got together with Yankee in the South and Chris about t-shirts by planning ahead for the Apple Festival, and haven't seen them since. Was it 3 years ago or 2 years ago? I guess it's 3 years this year. It's been 2.5 years. So yeah, my track record is stinkers. So please accept my apology ahead of time. But I want to know that I support everybody here in this community. Yeah, we did talk about food. We talked about food. Oh, another thing I thought about, this made me think of it. Come on our show, a story, you have fun in here. I mentioned this before. We may need to re-enable the split live stream where I could have like Dr. J on or Larry on or anybody that wants to, Rita or Mr. Carlos or something like that. Like I did that a couple times early in the pandemic and I haven't done it since. That takes mild amount of planning. You just ahead of time have to send a link out because I think I used to be, invite. So once I invite, I could send somebody the link. And then, we could join and we could have a conversation. That might be fun. I need to keep thinking about that. Spend a couple of days in Nashville. It'll be worth it. Lots of things to see. It is very neat. We covered a lot of topics tonight. Thanks for another enjoyable evening. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up. It's at $1:30. And I think that's a sensible amount of time. Not leaving yet, but I still think I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:30. I think I will wrap it up here soon. Gave enough irons in the fire. I know, and I don't want to sound like excuses. I just really want to know how much I appreciate everyone. I just, there's other, channels that are constantly meeting with people and stuff. I just don't have that flexibility, and I apologize. I get down there if I ever get done. I got to get down there if I ever get done in California. Yeah. At least you're enjoying the time you have out there and you're really doing fun stuff from your shorts that you're always producing. It's really cool. We completely understand we're not the only people in the world. If we come to town, it'd probably be on a Monday. It would not be a weekend. Okay. That might be tough, but if it's a weekend, the chances go way up that I'm able to get together. But if you can't, well, anyway, we'll figure it out. Chris, about t-shirts. Yes, I just mentioned you. I don't know how it compared, but I sang Kentucky Girl a happy birthday tonight because she said you did. So I went for it as well. I hope you were doing well. I saw that you live streamed for a sizable amount of time yesterday on the road. And I tried to reverse engineer because I certainly could not watch that 9-hour live stream. You said headed east, but I couldn't. I looked today and I was trying to figure out where was the start and where was the finish. All I heard was I-40. Where did you go? Let me know. But I'm about to end the live stream. If you have time, let me know. Maybe change the word to housekeeping to something else, see if it changes. Does that sound bad? Like, does it sound like cleaning up or something? Or like, I certainly could do that. I could change that up. I could certainly change it because it sounds like housekeeping's no fun, right? Yeah, great live stream as always. Have a wonderful week. For those in the snow path, stay safe. Yes. Well, yeah, I gave it my best. I gave it the old college try. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday only. Give me a PM sometime and we can see what we can play. Okay, yeah. Don't worry, because I yielding to you as well. That's the same. You got things going on. So we'll figure it out. And if it is a Monday, now if we did Monday, we would want it to probably be in skip the live stream or something, and then or do a mobile live stream. And then do it have to be when it stays lighter later because otherwise it's dark. Started in Arkansas and drove the whole state of Tennessee, North Carolina. Well, my friend, I just did that not too long ago as well. When I got my Shelby, I went from Oklahoma City to Asheville, straight over I-40. So that was my first foray of going through half the state of Oklahoma, the entire state of Arkansas, the entire state of Tennessee, which everybody knows is a super long state. And from Memphis all the way to the exit, where you're on the gorge in Tennessee. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for letting me know there. Good night, y'all, and thanks yet for a great ending to this Monday. You bet. Love the Shelby, by the way. I appreciate it. I'm mad. I'm not mad. I just can't drive it because of the salt on the roads right now. We'll wrap it up. Everyone go and have yourself a super fantastic week and be safe. Good night, everyone. I want to appreciate, well, let me get back to the main banner. I appreciate everybody who has come here. We had an excellent conversation here this evening. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. See y'all next Monday night. Yes. Thank you, Rita, Ted and Deborah Harrison, Foxy, Mr. Carlos, Chris about t-shirts, Dr. J, Larry. If I repeat anybody's name, you just get it 2 times. Hope Faith was here. My mom and dad were here early on. I saw Big Daddy and G Marita and Deborah Harrison. Did I already say? I think I already said that. But anyway, if you get it twice, you win the prize. Hope you all have a wonderful, safe, and happy week. Enjoy winter time. Enjoy the week. We'll stay connected through Instagram and here on the channel. And until next Monday, you all have a wonderful week and good night. See you later.